Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Scott. Commissioner Scott. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Here.
Commissioner Marecki.
Here.
Commissioner Clementi. Here. Commissioner Anderson.
Here.
Vice Chair Baydoun.
Here.
Chair Kinlock.
Present.
You have a quorum present.
Next item on the agenda,
Item B, Chair's remarks.
none at this time. Next item,
Item C, approval of the minutes from the September 6, 2023 meeting.
a motion is in order.
So moved.
Moved, supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? This action stands approved. Next item,
Next item, item D, under unfinished business, requesting commission approval of the recommended comprehensive budget appropriations ordinance for fiscal year 2023-2024 and the projected budget for fiscal year 2024-2025. Item A, discussion and presentation by the commission.
at this time, we have in front of us, Tim Johnson and Chairwoman Bell, Chair of the Wayne County Commission. And, welcome to the, committee, Madam Chair and, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to the committee. So my opening remarks, I'll first say that when I became chair, I thought it was important that I accompany a great team to the budget hearings. I do not believe any previous chairs of the commission attended budget hearings, probably for good reason, but but I want to make sure that I made myself available to be here to provide some opening remarks before I turn it over to our experts here. So let me first just say thank you again for having us. We have, of course, Tim Johnson, Terrence Adam, and Marcella Cora. Thank you so much. Terrence is his first budget, so we are so proud that he's been able to do a wonderful job in his first year as fiscal advisor. So I want to say thank you to him and the guidance that he's given to all of the commissioners and all of us through this budget process. He has knowledge of the county commission. He has knowledge of the county budget. So what he has been able to share with us is always invaluable. So we want to thank you for his hard work. Speaking of staff, I think the commission is one of the only areas of the county where we're pretty much fully staffed. All of our positions are going great. From our fiscal advisor, we now have 4 there. We have 4 in our council area. Only where that we're lacking a little bit is with our auditor general, and we have 1 opening there, but we're working diligently to fill that position. So I'm very happy that the commission can say that as far as staffing, we're doing quite well. Also, the length of time that our members stay on the commission is also impressive. Of our 35 central staff members, 14 of them have been here for over 15 years. And we have 5 that have been here at least 5 years. So not only are we fully staffed, we have the experience of people who have been here for a number of years to make sure that what happens on the commission goes smoothly, efficiently, and effectively. In terms of operations, we launched the open meeting management system last year. We are embracing technology. Sometimes it's great, sometimes like today, not so much. But I think the open meeting software that we purchased last year has been something similar to those, especially those of you who are in the House, where you can push buttons to vote. You can see who's up to speak next. And it's also helpful for Pam and her staff with some automating of the minutes and the documents, and her staff is very thankful that we have that new automation with the open meetings platform. So I think that's something that'll be here to stay. Meeting room equipment, we've upgraded some AV in this room as well as downstairs. Again, we've had some glitches. So I thank you all for your patience and understanding with some of those technical glitches. Hopefully, in the very near future, we'll get to the point where we can have a whole month of no glitches for our meetings, but we're working diligently to make that happen. So thank you for your patience with that. We're working also with the Department of Technology to make sure that we work on refreshing and upgrading our computers as needed. They've been working well with us, and we hope to get some new copier and printers. And we don't anticipate any other large scale projects because we've done those in the last few years, just making sure that the maintenance on them is up constituent program that we're going to embark upon in the upcoming year. InterGov, again, if any of you from the House may or the Senate may remember or may know about it, it's a platform that they use, and what it is, it makes it easier for commissioners to communicate with constituents, address constituent concerns, and we're going to have a 2-year contract that will become before this body in the next couple of weeks to approve that. So that's going to be a very good software program, and it's called InterGov. So during the government operations meeting, that contract will come to you for approval for a 2-year contract. And again, it's going to help us serve our constituents better. Programs and special projects. As you know, we've been working over the last 3 years, the Tri-County Summit with Oakland County and Macomb County. This is the 3rd year, and that has been going quite well. The summit, the first one was in Macomb County the first year, last year in Oakland County, and I'm glad that we're hosting it this year in Wayne County at the War Memorial Building on tomorrow. So that's been something very important to the 3 chairs of those respective counties that we work together. As I said earlier, the 3 counties are pretty much the drivers in southeastern Michigan and for the whole state of Michigan for that matter. So us working together is very important. Something that has come out of that is the surveys for the software, for internet service and broadband, working with SimCog. We're working with Merit Company. They're the company that's helping all of our counties to see where we are with broadband, because some areas of our county has broadband is affordable, other parts of our county, not so much. But we want to get a broad picture of what Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne looks like so that we can address those needs for our constituents, especially since President Biden did allocate money in his budget last year to help underserved communities with funding as it pertains to broadband services. So that's something that we're continuing to work on, and that's going pretty well. We've extended the deadline for the surveys to the end of October. So for those communities who have not done it yet, we want to ask that commissioners still push that out. That does exclude Detroit, because Detroit had its own survey. So we're doing the other 42 communities in Wayne County with the survey. And as far as professional development is concerned, as you know, we've had the active shooter training. We've had the mental health training, because I think it's very important that we provide opportunities to our staff to really enhance their professional life here on the Wayne County Commission. Those 2 programs have been received well. A few years back, we had the retreat that we did at the Detroit Zoo. Then the pandemic happened, of course. So I'm happy to say that now that we're in a better place, knock on wood, we're going to have another retreat for commission staff on the 29th of September at the Detroit Institute of Arts. You'll get more information about that, but that'll be an all-day staff retreat where we'll have someone to come in to speak about just teamwork, working together, and then we'll also have a tour of the DIA. I think those are pretty much my prepared remarks. I will now turn it over again to Tim. Did I miss anything?
No, I think you covered everything, Chair.
Okay, I will now turn it over to Terrence to give the numbers.
Thank you, Chair. Terrence Adams, Budget Director, Wayne County Commission. The Commission's proposed budget for the year is $12.2 million, which is about a $415,000 increase from the current year. This increase was primarily done by the CEO with salary increase put into the budget across the county of about 3%. So that was something the CEO did for mostly every department across elected official across the county. And other increases is we had a postage increase because just in general postage has went up. But other than that, our budget is pretty much status quo from current year.
Thank you. And I have no questions, but I will open up questions
I think
for.
we have one more presentation.
Oh, one more question. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Marcy.
Thank you, Darcy. I'm sorry. Marcy.
Marcy Coro, Auditor General. Our budget is pretty much status quo, as the chair indicated. We have 9 full-time individuals, 1 part-time, and we do have 1 vacancies that we've been trying to recruit for some time now. I'd like to thank the commission too for allowing us to be fully staffed. Once we fill that 1 vacancy, will be good. We lost one of our managers in August. But we were fortunate enough, we were able to recruit one of our prior individuals that had left about a year and a half ago. So we came back to the county. So he's now with our office. It's been like 2 weeks now. So we're glad to have him back as a manager. And our revenues, over 80% of our revenues come from chargebacks to other departments. So that's a less of a burden on the general fund for our office. And that's primarily it, unless there's any questions.
Thank you. One question I did have, you have been the chair and you've been in touch with us regularly as it relates to litigation. And I know that's something that's been, you've been communicating with me as something that's been very challenging both for you and our commission council. Did you see any need to increase or make any variances associated with litigation, frivolous or otherwise?
Yes, unfortunately, I did enter into a contract for about $25,000 for this fiscal year, and I anticipate about $100,000 for the next fiscal year for outside counsel. Terrence has assured me that we have that enough in our budget to cover that. So I'm hopeful that we won't have to increase that, but prayerfully that $100,000 that we're anticipating will be less, but we have an up to amount in our mind for outside counsel.
Okay, thank you. And that concludes my question. I'll open it up for any committee members and Commissioner Anderson. Okay.
Your mic.
To your microphone.
Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to clarify why it is that we are looking at outside counsel.
Because we have a very tough, challenging, extensive lawsuits and FOIAs that our council cannot handle alone. It would take all of her time plus 10 more of her to handle what's coming before us.
Oh.
Therefore, we had to go out for outside counsel to assist.
And is that multiple suits or is that a individual?
Individual,
lawsuit?
multiple suits.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Anderson.
Not being an attorney, I wondered, is there not something that could be done? Because I understand what most of these are, that could appeal to the court to have these thrown out early on or.
We're working all of those angles.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. The other thing, I had two other things. One of them is about the copier. Are we going to have a brand new copier on this floor?
What we're looking at is the county.
Your microphone. Yep.
Sorry about that. You can see why the mics downstairs are such a mess. What our plan is with the copiers is the county is getting a countywide copy printer service agreement. I think it's with Canon. That's going to cover all the copiers, printers on the floor. And they will determine if, it can be repaired or continue to be maintained, or they'll let us know if we need to replace them. So that's going to kick off in the next couple months. Until that happens, we're going to be using our existing machines. We do have service agreements with them. And hopefully they won't break down as often as they have been, but that's our focus on the copiers.
Okay, because I don't know exactly how old it is, but I know one of the service people that was here said this thing should have been put out of use. Of course, he may be having an interest in the company selling the machines, but there's no doubt it's down a lot, and it's just. I don't know what other commissioners have experienced, but there's many times that it's a major problem. So I would hope we're not going to give up on the idea of buying a new unit and just continue to hobble along on this one. But the other thing is, seemed like there was a study session or on the or committee of the whole that I was not able to make about the constituent management software. I'm leery of that, and I'll tell you one of the reasons why is that when I was in the legislature, there were attempts to capture information from each individual member of the legislature, the ones that are coming in to build a database. I don't want to see us, I would hope everyone would agree, we don't really want to do that here on the commission because people became very offended. They got these unwanted communications because they became part of a list that was distributed to central staff. And I'm not saying central staff here, but central staff there. And people would dream up different things to contact people about. And I think people are becoming more aware of things like this happening and they want to protect their privacy. And I want to protect my own privacy. So I don't want my name. I mean, I get something every day, several emails, and we probably all do, that it came from a mail list. So I want to see the protections that are there and things that each commissioner has some control over.
This will absolutely be controlled by each commissioner. So you will decide what goes out, when it goes out, who it goes out to. And that's, I think, the beauty of this system. They'll have the text messages or the phone numbers or whatever it is, addresses, but you decide how you want to use it.
Okay, all right. That's key to me.
Yeah, it won't be a generic something going out to all 15 districts. Every commissioner will decide what goes out in their district.
Okay, all right. Thanks for answering that. Thank you.
Commissioner Baker McCormick asked to be recognized again. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As we talk about software, one of the things that I don't know if the new software that we're looking at will link the agenda items. So a table of content, and then we can hit on the link to that item, and it moves down to, say, Health and Human Service
You mean
item
for,
agenda
For open meetings, the one that we use down in the chambers?
for just in receiving, when we receive our agendas and in an email form. I don't know if whatever software we're getting, can it help us better manage how we get to our documents? That's what I'm asking. So, and I think I brought it up to IT to see if there was a link that we can create that would go to that individual item.
Through the chair, I think there's a possibility of doing that through Adobe Acrobat Standard or whatever, where you can do tables of contents and
Right.
bookmarks. Yeah, bookmarks.
Okay,
So
yeah.
So
I don't
they do
recall,
it,
but-
but you open it up and, yes.
So in the current, how we receive them now, they're not linked. What I'm asking about is a link, and I'm not sure if it's tied to the software or something else that we can do. So you just talked about Adobe. Maybe that's as simple as that. I don't know.
yeah, we
But
can get together with Pamela Lane and maybe IT and see how best we could launch that.
okay,
And Felicia just whispered in my ear that Pam does have that ability to do that now. I guess it just depends on if that's of interest to a commissioner and she can work with you on that.
okay,
Felicia said-
individually, okay.
That can be done now, currently.
Yes, they can bookmark now. Through the chair, excuse
Okay.
me. So
Thank
Commissioner Baker McCormick, currently in our PDF packets that we send out for committees, if you click on a bookmark, it should bookmark each file that has been attached in that large document. Are you speaking of going to a specific report within the agenda?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, we currently don't do that, but that's something we can definitely speak with IT about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think.
Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing, if I may, through the chair.
absolutely.
I just want to really just commend all of the commissioners who've gone out through education for their positions. We have Michigan Association of Counties, which many commissioners are involved with. We have SIMCOG, which many commissioners are involved with. We have NACO, which many commissioners are involved with. Some commissioners, as I talk to them across the country, they have mandatory education that they have to go through, which would be either your state association or the national association. I'm not saying that's something that I'm going to make everybody do, but I'm glad to those who are participating. And, you know, our own Commissioner Dodd will be elevating up through Michigan Association of Counties, and she'll be our upcoming president next year. So I just want to thank all, so I just want to thank all the commissioners who are taking those opportunities to expand their knowledge and to see what other counties are doing and put best practices into place that we can be more efficient and effective here in Wayne County on our Wayne County Commission.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair and the team. And so that concludes. Any other comments you might want?
Through the
closing?
chair, I just wanted to acknowledge my staff, our staff, Gina, Cynthia, Jim, Wayne, Orlando, and Mark. They do a terrific job, and we put a lot on them, but they always come through for us. So we're blessed and lucky to have them on our team.
I would concur with that. We have an amazing staff that supports us and made my transition onto the commission, and moving forward work out very well.
Let's not forget Mr. Johnson as well.
Oh, Mr. Johnson, yeah, Tim is always available. And I thank you for that as well.
It's my pleasure.
Yep. So that concludes your presentation.
That concludes our presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And it's not that scary on this side. All right, thank you all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item on the agenda.
Next item, item B, presentation by the County Executive's Office.
Good afternoon. As you are about to make your comments, please remember to state your name and your position. And also like to remind you, if there's any information that you have not provided to our staff as far as comments that you'll be making, if you would provide it to our staff after the meeting so that we can have more of a complete record.
Thank you. Through the chair, Aaron Wagner, Chief Administrative Officer representing the CEO's office in this budget hearing.
Good afternoon again. May continue.
So through the CEO's office, working with M&B, we have put forth a budget that we feel is complete for both staffing, contractual obligations, as well as looking at historical budget adjustments that we've requested through the past fiscal year to make sure that coming to the commission this year for the next fiscal year, we will be in whole for our requests.
Thank you. I have no questions at this time. I'll open it up for committee members if you have any questions. Any questions? Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Wagner, and this commission will review this, and we'll act and the decision will be made by the full commission. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Clerk, next item on the agenda.
Next item, item C, discussion and presentation by the Department of Management and Budget.
Oh, okay. So what we'll do is we'll take, what time is it? Oh, wow. We'll take a 10-minute recess. 10 minutes. Okay. Thank you. Oh, right. Okay.
Where's the skunk when you need it?
Down in his office.
Having this one, having.
And you know, I provided him years ago with a stuff
The Ways and Means Committee meeting and budget hearing will reconvene. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Scott, Commissioner Baker McCormick, Commissioner Mareki, Commissioner Clementi,
Present.
Commissioner Anderson,
Here.
Vice Chair Baydoun.
Here.
Chair Varga. I mean, Chair Kellogg.
Oh.
Hi, Lona.
Chair Kellogg.
Hi, Lona.
A little too extra. Present.
So I can catch it on video.
Oh, man, yes, yes.
The spirit of Vargas is still in the room.
We are now,
Clementi is here.
we are on item C, discussion and presentation by the Department of Management and Budget.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. For the record, please state your name and your position with the county.
Good afternoon, John Wallace, CFO Wayne County.
Good afternoon, Rob Whittigan, Chief Deputy CFO, Wayne County.
Thank you. So we have in front of us, we have the management and budget, proposed budget, as well as we have, we're going to combine both the non-departmental proposed budget as well. Begin your presentation.
All right. Notice I don't have a copy of the presentation, so. Thank you, John. All right, so we'll just quickly, just kind of, it's only 5 slides. We'll just go over some, financial highlights. Thank you. There it is. And then we'll go out over some goals and objectives for the department, some highlights that the department accomplished last fiscal year, I guess this current fiscal year. And then our contact information, which I think you all have. So next slide, please. All right, so this pretty much we covered in the intro, so I'll just kind of quickly go over it. But I think the big thing is, budget and planning did receive the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from the GFOA, which is the Government Finance Officers Association. And according to our team, that is for the 24th consecutive year. So that's pretty impressive. We are just kind of an update from when we first met with you. We talked about the ratings. Those are still the same. However, CFO Wallace and I have been meeting with the ratings agencies to first off do an introduction, and then second, now we're meeting again with them to do kind of their annual surveillance of the county. So that is on track. Next slide, please. So our mission here in management and budget, obviously, is to provide financial services, information, asset protection to elected policymakers, county departments, program administrators, and to the public, so that they have the information they need to make the decisions to achieve your desired results. But some goals and objectives that we have coming up for the department are to one, obviously maintain adequate reserves in all county funds. 2, continue some performance-based budgeting for major county operations, programs, and activities. So for example, the ERP activity. And then also to, a goal of, we've had a good track record of getting our audit or ACFR in on time, but the goal will be to get it in even sooner. That's going to require some staffing, obviously, but the goal will be to do it within 120 days or sooner, get it to the state of Michigan. I think another big key initiative for M&B is really to improve our customer service. Kind of the outreaching part of the department. If anyone has a copy of their budget, flip to a random page and then kind of stop and think to yourself, like, okay, if I'm the general public who doesn't work for the county or work in M&B every day, do you have a clue of what this page is saying, right? And so a lot of cities like Philadelphia, Baltimore, they have nice, infographics, 5-page documents that's a citizen's guide to the budget. Doing something like that so that the average person doesn't have to pick up a 300-page budget book to figure out what the heck the county's doing for them, but they can pick up a simple document, and say, okay, here's the big highlights that the county is trying to achieve. Expanding staff, I've mentioned that to you guys before, especially for, my sleep schedule. It'd be nice to get budget director on board, additional budget analysts, really build the budget team. We got vacancies. I think there's 43 vacancies in M&B. That's countywide. We all have vacancies, understanding, but when we have goals of collaborative bargaining agreements and budgets to put out and ACFRs to put out, we really need to make sure that the core financial services that the county has is sufficient to answer everyone's questions in a timely manner. Also encouraging staff to partake in professional development, through online training or in-person training, improve grant management. I'll touch base on that a little bit later. Again, increase the taxpayer awareness of major initiatives and accomplishments through community forums or our website. Sorry, I did jump to the next slide. ERP systems projects, so that, the transition does continue with that. Implementation we're obviously including the updated chart of accounts required by the state. And in the overall goals to track, monitor, and test and assess the project until it's implemented to make sure that we have a smooth implementation. If you have specific questions on ERP, our subject matter expert, Michael Jameson, is also on Zoom to answer any questions. Again, to staffing, it's a big focus countywide, but also in M&B to attract and retain talent. It's a fun job market out there, right? I mean, we're posting positions for, I think our deputy budget director was posted for like 120,000, and people blink at that. It's a new world of where you're not just going to be able to post a job and get 100 applicants, right? So we need to really think of how we're going out, how we're attracting financial, people with financial skills, especially in government. If you go to college for finance, I took one government accounting class. That's it. There's not, it's hard to find a specific program for government accounting. So you have to get creative when you're going out and attracting and retaining talent for a department like M&B. And overall engage the hardworking team that's already in place, but then also build our capacity to make sure that our workload is equitable across the team, and that stuff is getting produced and sent out to commission and public and administration in a timely manner. Next slide, please. I'll just quickly hit some highlights from the fiscal year we're currently in. Obviously, there's additional staff, so a new CFO, chief deputy CFO, new deputy budget director, Gregory McIntyre. He's sitting a couple rows behind me. Also, director of administration was hired. ERP project obviously was received additional funding in this budget to make sure it's on track. M&B, through the reorg chart or the reorg plan that commission approved, transferred benefits administration to PHR. We're also, as you all know, coordinating with PHR to focus on collaborative bargaining agreement negotiations. And then also we are bringing on, hopefully for the beginning of FY24, we're currently going through training on it, is a new grant management system. So training is currently underway for an anticipated start at the beginning of the fiscal year, and that will help track grant management, grant acquisition, and then also, which is very important, monitoring subawards. And then procurement department's been focusing on policies and procedures manual for the procurement department. And with the goal to give guidance to departments as to what's required to procure goods and services. And that's kind of a quick intro for M&B. And if you have any questions, John and I are here, like I said, along with Michael Jameson for ERP, and then the hardworking budgeteers, which put together this book that you have before you.
Yes. Okay, thank you for your presentation. I'm just going to say that for me, my greatest concern in the upcoming year as relates to the county, and more so as relates to your department, is the implementation as well as the testing and implementation of the ERP. That's that is the I guess the itch at my back as it relates to understanding the challenge that we had a few months ago or a year or so ago regarding some of the mishaps that came with implementing that. And so I'm really going to be keeping a close eye on that the whole ERP implementation. And I hope that at the highest levels of individuals who are responsible for implementing this, that that your focus is keen to making sure that we don't encounter as many potential mistakes that can come from when you launch this type of large scale change in infrastructure. Because coming from the city of Detroit, the great legend, the whole situation regarding Dreams, when the city implemented Dreams, and how that basically cost the city of Detroit millions of dollars, almost hundreds of millions of dollars over a long period of time. So that's the thing there. But other than that, you all have started, came on board both together, and have been working very well, with this committee and with the commission. And so I'm glad that you all are working with me on this development of this first budget. And so we're doing this thing together as chair of this committee. So I wanted to just start off by saying I thank you for making yourselves available, as I've had questions regarding some of the numbers and some of the issues that you had presented to us. With that, those are just my comments, and I'm going to ask commissioners if they have any questions. And Commissioner Marecki, and then I saw someone moving over here, Commissioner Anderson. Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm interested in the grant management section here. What grants are you talking about? Like throughout the entire county, or?
Yeah, so that would be a program, or is a program, to manage all grants that the county receives, track them, help us apply for them, track them. So if there's any reporting requirements, so the biggest one, I would say, ARPA, if we had this system, it would track the dollars coming in. It would track, batch 1, batch 2 of your projects. It would track compliance and reporting requirements and whatnot. So it's overall countywide grant management.
Now, how about the other elected officials, like the prosecutor's office? Would that, and clerk, I think she gets some grants with stuff.
Through the chair, yes, they participate in it as well. Everyone would have access to it.
Okay, that would be, seems like that would be a real burden off many departments, so you could keep track when to reapply. And so when do you think that'll be up and running?
They just had training. We're having weekly training on it. Not to be vague, but the goal is to have it by the beginning of this fiscal year, so October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you. Thank you. Maybe can you give us a quick update on the ERP? Can you guys do that?
Yes, through the chair. I actually have the project director on Zoom, or
Okay.
if we can pull up Michael Jameson.
Yeah. Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, hey, through the chair. So right now.
Please state your name and your title for the record.
Yeah, Michael Jameson. I am the Connect 43 project director, which is essentially the Oracle Fusion implementation, ERP, which is the financial management system, EPM, which is the budgetary planning system, HCM, which is human capital management, HR and payroll, as well as the autonomous data warehouse. All that together is Connect 43, even though sometimes we're referring to it as ERP. So yeah, to answer that question, right now we are in 2 of the 4 main phases. So just to kind of, again, give an overview of the aggregate project, we're implementing human capital management, HR payroll, enterprise performance management, budgetary planning, enterprise resource planning, which is essentially the financial management system, as well as a data warehouse to house the information from the legacy systems that we'll be moving off of and migrating to Oracle Cloud. Right now, we are well into the human capital management implementation, and we are just kicking off as of roughly 2 weeks ago, the enterprise performance management. In terms of status, the human capital management system, it is delayed relative to the project plan, primarily due to issues we had with data conversion. Overall, it's been slow progress in getting the data converted from Oracle or from the legacy payroll system, PeopleSoft, into Oracle. There's different categories that the data has to go through, essentially an extraction from PeopleSoft, a validation of the extract from PeopleSoft, a load into Oracle, and then a validation, essentially a revalidation that the information that was loaded into Oracle is complete and accurate. That overall timing is delayed about 2.5 to 3 weeks, mainly because this is really, from what I can tell, the first time that the Wayne County SMEs have really looked at extracts from PeopleSoft in preparation for load into Oracle. So there were things that are being caught now that we have to address and make sure are accurate before we load into PP3, which essentially is, not to get too technical, but situational or systems integration testing, which is essentially the second to last round of testing before you would go live. So recognizing the importance of, in particular, payroll and making sure that things are complete and timely from the standpoint of having that data accurately displayed in Oracle. We've been really kind of, grinding to make sure that everything that is scheduled to be converted is converted, and the overall timing of getting it to a complete and accurate state has been a little slower than anticipated. Aggregately, enterprise performance management is on track. Again, we just kicked off about 2 weeks ago. We've started preliminary discussions for autonomous data warehouse, and we're gearing up for ERP, which is slated to kick off in October, the beginning of October.
Just to follow up, if you were to say where we're at right now, are we on schedule? Because I know you mentioned some things that there's some issues. How far off schedule, if we are off, to be able to achieve? Aren't we supposed to be ready to roll with this like spring of next year?
Yeah, so I'll break it down into components. So right now, the big focus is human capital management, which has a late December go live. That one is off about 2 to 3 weeks, mainly because of the slow progression in data conversion, which is what I was talking to previously. That one is where we're evaluating contingencies around that, given the fact that that's a new calendar year, in addition to being in the middle of the fiscal year and the end of the 2023 calendar year. So what we have done is put some contingency planning in place. With John's guidance, I've been working with IT to evaluate options around maintaining PeopleSoft into calendar year 2024, just to serve as a plan B in the event that the payroll go live for HCM isn't ready by the end of December. Other than that, we've really just kind of been keeping our heads down and trying to get through conversion, which will then allow us to move into PP3, which is process playback 3. That would allow us to then really evaluate how the information looks and functions in Oracle. And if that information looks and functions in Oracle accurately, then you can move on to user acceptance testing, which is essentially inviting a broader base of end users in the human capital management space, kind of thank our HR employees to test the system and stress test it again. That would then allow us, if passed, would allow us to do cutover, which essentially is the process of moving from PeopleSoft into Oracle and having Oracle available in a live production environment to function as a human capital management system and payroll system. So right now the focus is on getting that data converted completely and accurately because those other items I mentioned don't go off if we don't have that data converted and loaded in Oracle.
All right, thank you. Thanks for the pretty thorough update. I appreciate it. The other question I have for M&B is, are you guys in charge? Or you got your arms around deadlines for contracts? And because I know we've had a constant problem in the county getting contracts that are not the deadlines haven't already passed, and retroactive contracts constantly happening. Are you guys working on things like that too?
Yes, through the chair, we do have our procurement director working on that, improving upon the contract management process itself. So we're kind of going through like a flow chart to look at from start to finish to see where we can make some improvements in
Okay,
that area.
all right, I appreciate that. I think that's a sore spot for a number of people
Understood.
to get a lot of contracts that should have been approved or before us few months earlier, sometimes even a year earlier. But anyway, that's all I have right now, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, as far as, we have a number of contractors who are associated with this whole ERP and all of the modulations and associated with this new infrastructure build out. My question is timeline from my part. You don't want to rush to get it done because you don't want the mishaps. But this project, the costs associated with that, part of it is the human capital associated with trying to bringing this online. You put some additional dollars in the budget. Do you believe that those are substantial amount of those are adequate amount, an adequate amount to address this transition for the entire fiscal year? Because I believe it was an additional, 600 and something thousand?
Which
For ERP?
Yes.
Yeah, that seems to ring a bell. Yes.
So
Sorry.
what I'm saying is that, how did you come up with the assumption to put that number in there? I mean.
Oh, through the chair, yes. I mean, we have evaluated that. So we have evaluated all the contracts and looked at, obviously the timelines and the milestones, and that has all been captured in the budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Yes, just a follow-up question. There was a work group that was set up outside of the commission to work on, I guess, the logistics and to discuss on a monthly, I don't know if it was monthly, quarterly, the ERP, is that still functioning, or what happened to that work
But
group?
through the chair, we do provide a monthly update to
Okay,
commission.
through which?
I think it goes
Is
to
it
Mary.
Mary Cart?
Yes.
Okay. Can you expound on your activities in the work group?
I'm actually, through the chair, I'm Mary Carr, Deputy Director. I'm there to make sure they do what they're supposed to do, actually, is my role there. But they do, there was a lag because they were in between project consultants, so there was a lag, but we are now caught up with the summary reports, which were just on the last GovOps, and we're on full board today. Jason?
Yes.
Yes.
Mike is now preparing
So-
and submitting those.
And it is monthly.
Yes,
Okay,
we'll be moving forward. Yes,
it will. be.
we're
Okay.
through July, I believe.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Commissioner Killeen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In your PowerPoint, you referenced 120 days of getting of closing the books and getting it to the auditors as a goal,
Yes, that would be a goal.
and that's required by state law, so you have to have it in within 120 days at the close of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
In the county charter, it also specifies that the budget get to the commission 120 days before the start of the fiscal year. And of course, this year we got it what, late?
Very late.
That would be June 1st under the charter,
Yeah.
which very much compresses the time for the commission to do its proper oversight of the budget. That's not one of your goals, is to get the budget out within 120 days before the end of the fiscal year to the commission, as required by the charter?
Yeah, that's definitely, I guess I'd say oversight on me not putting in the PowerPoint, but that is definitely a goal. Two things. One, with the ERP system, there is a budget module that we are working through with Michael's help, Jameson's help leading that the budget team is working through to completely outline our entire process of what we do now. It's very antiquated to kind of, we're using Excel. There are a lot of budget programs out there that, help build the book much more efficiently. But you're right. Yeah, we were very late in getting the budget to the commission.
And this wasn't the first year that happened.
Right. No, I think actually going back, I don't think it's been submitted per the charter in if I remember right, I think I've been told 15 years. So, but that's not an excuse for being late, right? Like, I'm not saying it's okay because it's a big budget and we need, you all and we need time to make sure that it's vetted. So.
Well, I'm a big fan of us operating according to the charter.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea in government in general.
I think it will give Terrence and I less gray hair too.
I think the charter also requires a budget statement to come out. Our chief fiscal advisor can weigh in on that, and I believe the charter requires that in March or April, that a budget statement comes out. Am I correct in that, sir?
You are correct in the budget statement, but it's required January, 9 months before the fiscal year.
January. And what should be included in that budget statement, sir?
Off the top of my mind, I don't know exactly everything. I have to get back with you on that, but as far as we should receive one in January, 9 months before the new fiscal year.
Yeah. Gentlemen? Can I look forward to a budget statement next January?
Through the chair, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, because these things are all vital, right? We're messing around with not our money. We're just messing around with taxpayer dollars here in Washington and all that kind of stuff for transparency, for getting stuff out there. So citizens know what's going on, give commission the time to do its work. So I think if we can, with both the budget statement and getting the budget submitted by June 1st, I'll take it on May 30th. But as long as we get it, 30 days, that's September, April, June. How about the 31st? Then I think that would greatly increase knowledge of the budget, public knowledge of the budget. I think it's all to the good that if we hit those benchmarks as specified in the charter. So I look forward to that next year. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so the question is, Terrence, when is the last time that the budget was presented pursuant to the dates under the charter?
Well, through the chair, I can't answer that exactly, but I've been here since 2003 and we haven't received it on June 1st since then.
So that's 20 years. Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
there's no time like the present to rectify that.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
don't want to get into discussions of, well, it's been a long time. Because then people can be the attitude of, well, I haven't done it for 20 years. Who cares if it's another 21 years? Right? But I think I don't want to entertain that discussion about what was going on in the past. I think. we
No,
look
I'm
into
just
the
saying that,
future.
absolutely. I'm
Thank
just
you,
saying
Mr.
that,
Chair.
20 years, I mean, yeah, I've just been here too. Yeah, I'm just saying. But, so yes, and then this year, we didn't have a management and budget department for the leadership, at least. We were waiting on that to come online. So next year, we definitely want to make sure that we try to, meet the deadlines, and the committee will be looking forward to it. Yeah, in the commission. Question, last question, if there's no other questions. Now, the management and budget contract positions, there are average monthly costs. There 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 positions. Oh, the 7 positions that 8 positions that are contracted positions that are saying that are averaging around over $20,000. How critical and how close are those averages? Page number. It's the management and budget, and it's towards the end. Okay. Toward the end, it's in the page numbers. So next year, we're gonna put page numbers too. Okay, it says Wayne County Management Budget Contracted Positions. Yeah.
Yeah, where it says M&B at the top, M&B
Yes.
Project Consultants.
Yes, management and budget contracted positions. Yeah.
Yeah, so, just the page, yep, okay. I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
Oh, my question is so these are average monthly costs. There are like 7 of them that are exceeding $20,000. These are contracted positions. Just wanting to know, their contracted positions, are they, would it make sense to have them? How long do you anticipate having these contract positions? And would it make sense to actually have these positions in-house?
Through the chair, yes, majority of these positions are associated with the whole ERP project.
Okay.
These are like most of the staff, all people that are critical to the project moving forward.
Okay.
And so obviously the goal would be in the end to, build out the ERP department post go live. And so the goal would be to try to bring some of these folks on board permanently for Wayne County.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any additional questions? Okay, there being none. Okay, so thank you for your presentation, and continue to, look forward to continue to work with you as we work through this budget process.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I also, if I may, Mr. Chair, I'd like to thank Terrence and Mary and their staff for helping us go through this. I know Terrence and I've talked quite a bit on the budget and making sure technical adjustments get you on time and making sure we have all the technical adjustments. So just a big thanks to their team for helping us get through this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And also I want to thank Eddie Fakori and Darcel. You've been serving as sort of navigating chiefs. So, make sure everybody get necessary information. So thank you. Let's see, we have that. Okay, so with that. Okay, so Madam Clerk, next item on the agenda.
I have a motion to pass
Okay.
item 1 for the day.
Motion is in order. It's been moved, it's supported. All those in favor to pass the item for the day. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, this action stands approved. The next item on the agenda.
Item E under new business, there is none listed. Moving to item F, such are the matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I know of none. I know of none. So no, it's passing for the day, the budget, because we're right, yeah, okay, so I know of none.
Item G, public comments.
Madam Clerk, is there anyone asking to be recognized on Zoom? Have you received any communications addressed to this committee?
There are no hands on Zoom, no email communications have been received. However, we do have a public comment from Mr. John Law in the audience.
Yes. Okay, sir, please state your name. Please state your name. You have to come to the table. Okay, so we can.
Okay, sure.
You got the clock on.
Hello,
Good afternoon. So you have 2 minutes.
I have a document here that I will give you that says that they're going to give Illich $14 million from the county, from their operating winter taxes, their parks, and their jail money. There's a part of this scam says that they have to notify the like the county that they're going to steal this money, hijack it. And you have an opportunity then to write back and tell them, no, we're going to keep the money and not give it to Illich. But I don't think they're sending it out, or I don't know where they get it. You need to contact them and say, we'd like a copy of the notification that you gave us, and then we'll respond to it when we get it. If you don't have it, you don't even know that you don't have it because you don't know what's going on. It's real simple. Here's the document that states these numbers, $14 million. And they took 36 million from Marisa. So they got a real scam going. So here's the documents to substantiate that. The other thing is that I really don't like the way I was in Vietnam, went through Fort Wayne. Part of the park millage was to give $1 million a year to Fort Wayne, but they didn't need the money, so you didn't give it to them. And then you renewed the park millage, but you dropped off the Fort Wayne. So it wasn't really a renewal. It was an increase for everybody else. And they cut out Fort Wayne. So you owe them money. So maybe you can get some of this money and give it to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's the copy.
Give it to our staff. Thank you.
They're real artists at doing this.
Oh, okay. Stop. How you stop it? Stop. Shut up. Are you really gonna do this? Okay, so I'd like to remind the committee that a regular Ways and Means committee meeting will be held Tuesday, September 12th. And then also on Thursday, September 14th, on budget review, as well as technical amendments review and deliberation of the budget. And so just wanted you to make sure you take note of that. And with that, Madam Clerk, the next item on the agenda.
Item H, adjournment.
Motion is in order, been moved, supported to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.